Scout Automobile. Welcome to Start. The name Plymouth Roadrunner has never been just a badge on a car. It has always been a warning, a challenge, and a promise all at once. Designed, a warning to anyone who underestimated raw American muscle, a challenge to the road itself, and a promise of pure unfiltered driving emotion. When people talk about legends, they often exaggerate, but the Roadrunner earned its reputation honestly, through noise, speed, and attitude, dispensing tells intelligent service, YR, and promise of pure and promise of pure and promise of pure and promise of pure and promise and promise pure and promise of pure and promise of pure and promise pure and promise and pure and promise pure and promise and pure and promise and pure and promise pure and promise and 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 pure and promise. And now imagine that legacy returning in 2026, not as a weak echo of the past, but as a bold, modern interpretation that still refuses to be quiet, polite, or forgettable. The 2026 Plymouth Roadrunner is imagined as a car that brings back the feeling many thought was lost forever. In a world where cars are becoming quieter, softer, and more digital, the Roadrunner stands as a rebellion on wheels. It is built for drivers who believe a car should have a soul, a heartbeat, and a personality. The philosophy behind the 2026 Roadrunner is simple: respect the past, dominate the present, and intimidate the future. This is not about chasing trends. This is about setting them on fire and driving straight through the smoke. The first time you see the 2026 Plymouth Roadrunner, it doesn't slowly grow on you. It hits you instantly. The stance is low, wide, and aggressive, like an animal crouched and ready to attack. The body looks tense, as if every panel is holding back energy. This car looks fast even when parked, and that's exactly how a Roadrunner should look. The proportions immediately remind you of classic muscle cars, but everything has been sharpened, modernized, and refined with purpose. The front end is unapologetically bold. Designed a wide, aggressive grille dominates the face, finished in dark tones that give the car a sinister expression. The headlights are slim and sharp, using advanced LED technology but designed to look mean rather than elegant. They feel like eyes locked onto the road ahead, focused and intense. The hood is long, sculpted and muscular, featuring functional vents that feed cold air directly into the engine bay. These are not decorative details. They exist because the engine underneath demands to breathe. As you move along the side profile, the Roadrunner's character becomes even clearer. The long hood stretches forward, emphasizing the power lurking beneath. The roofline is low and smooth, flowing naturally into a short rear deck, creating that classic muscle silhouette everyone recognizes instantly. The wheel arches are wide and pronounced, housing massive performance wheels wrapped in thick, high-grip tires. Every line along the body feels intentional, creating tension and motion without unnecessary complexity. The rear of the 2026 Plymouth Roadrunner completes the picture with confidence. Wide LED taillights stretch across the back, making the car look planted and powerful from behind. A performance-oriented rear diffuser improves aerodynamics while adding to the aggressive visual presence. Dual exhaust outlets sit proudly, promising thunder every time the engine fires up. The iconic Roadrunner badge returns, reminding everyone that this car carries a name that means something. But the true soul of the Roadrunner has always lived under the hood, and the 2026 version takes that responsibility seriously. At its core, this car is built around power, sound, and response. The heart of the lineup is imagined as a naturally aspirated V8, because anything else would feel like betrayal. This engine delivers raw, mechanical power with instant throttle response. There is no artificial delay, no overly filtered sensation. When you press the accelerator, the Roadrunner reacts immediately, surging forward with authority. For those who want even more intensity, a supercharged V8 option pushes the Roadrunner into another league entirely. Power delivery becomes explosive, relentless, and addictive. Acceleration feels violent in the best way possible, slamming back into the seat as the engine screams. This is not a car that gently builds speed. It attacks it. It overwhelms it. It reminds you why muscle cars were feared and respected. The sound of the 2026 Roadrunner is just as important as the numbers it produces. At idle, the engine rumbles deeply, sending vibrations through the ground and into your chest. It doesn't try to hide or soften its presence. Under acceleration, the exhaust unleashes a roar that feels alive, mechanical, and emotional. This is real sound, created by real combustion, not enhanced by speakers. It's the kind of noise that makes people turn their heads before they even see the car. Understanding modern expectations, the Roadrunner may also introduce a performance-focused hybrid assist system. This system is not about turning the Roadrunner into something it's not. It exists to enhance what's already there. So imagine what's already there. Electric torque fills in gaps, improves launch performance, and sharpens throttle response. The V8 remains the star of the show, while technology works quietly behind the scenes to make everything faster and more efficient. Power is sent to the rear wheels, staying true to traditional muscle car philosophy. Buyers are imagined to have a choice between a manual transmission and a high-performance automatic. The manual gearbox is designed for purists, offering short, precise shifts that make the driver feel directly connected to the machine. Every gear change feels deliberate and satisfying. The automatic transmission, on the other hand, delivers lightning-fast shifts and aggressive downshifts, maximizing performance during hard driving. Where the 2026 Plymouth Roadrunner truly surprises is in its handling. Muscle cars have long been associated with straight-line dominance, but this Roadrunner is engineered to be confident in corners as well. A modern performance suspension setup keeps the car planted and balanced. Adaptive dampers adjust automatically based on driving conditions, and elected driving modes, allowing the car to cruise comfortably or stiffen up for aggressive driving. The steering is sharp and communicative, providing real feedback rather than artificial heaviness. The driver always knows what the front tires are doing, which builds confidence and encourages spirited driving. The chassis feels rigid and composed, even when pushed hard, proving that this Roadrunner is more than just brute force. Braking performance matches the car's power. Large, high-performance brakes deliver strong and consistent stopping force, even after repeated heavy use. Pedal feel is firm and reassuring, allowing precise control during aggressive driving. This balance between acceleration and braking ensures the Roadrunner feels complete, not reckless. Inside the 2026 Plymouth Roadrunner, the interior reflects the car's personality perfectly. It's aggressive, focused, and purposeful, without feeling uncomfortable or cheap. The cabin is designed around the driver, with controls placed exactly where they should be. Everything feels intuitive, reducing distractions and enhancing the driving experience. The seats are heavily bolstered, designed to hold the driver firmly during hard cornering while remaining comfortable enough for long journeys. Materials throughout the cabin feel solid and well chosen, blending leather, performance fabrics, and subtle retro-inspired details. These touches pay homage to the past without feeling outdated. The digital instrument cluster is fully customizable, allowing drivers to choose between classic-style gauges or modern performance displays. Important information is clear and easy to read at a glance. The infotainment system is fast and responsive, offering navigation, smartphone connectivity, and vehicle settings without unnecessary complexity. Despite its aggressive nature, the Roadrunner is imagined to be surprisingly usable as a daily driver. There is enough interior space to be practical, along with storage, solutions that make everyday use easier. Modern convenience features ensure that living with the Roadrunner doesn't feel like a compromise. Driving the 2026 Plymouth Roadrunner is an experience that engages all the senses. Starting the engine sends a shiver through the cabin, instantly reminding you that this car is alive. On the open road, it feels confident and powerful, cruising effortlessly when driven calmly. Switch into a more aggressive driving mode, and the car transforms instantly. Throttle response sharpens, the exhaust grows louder, and the suspension tightens, ready for action. In city environments, the Roadrunner's presence is undeniable. People notice it immediately. Heads turn. No. Conversations pause. This car doesn't blend into traffic, and it doesn't want to. It stands out, proudly and unapologetically. The return of the Plymouth Roadrunner in 2026 represents something much bigger than a single model. It represents resistance against a future where driving becomes boring and emotionless. It proves that passion still matters, that sound still matters, and that connection between driver and machine is still important. This car is not built to please everyone, and that is its greatest strength. It is built for enthusiasts, for people who understand that a car can be more than transportation. It can be an experience, a statement, and a source of genuine joy. The 2026 Plymouth Roadrunner honors its heritage without being trapped by it. It takes everything that made the original iconic and reinterprets it with modern engineering and technology. The result is a car that feels timeless, powerful, and relevant. As the automotive world continues to evolve, the Roadrunner stands as a reminder that legends don't disappear. They adapt. They return stronger. They remind us why we fell in love with cars in the first place. The 2026 Plymouth Roadrunner is not just a revival, it is a declaration of intent. A declaration that muscle cars still have a place in the future, a declaration that emotion cannot be replaced by silence. And once you experience it, once you hear its roar and feel its power, you understand one undeniable truth: the Roadrunner is back, and it's ready to run free again.